Greetings. It's welcome to Chase Life. This is Chase. I smile sometimes because I screw up the intro and have to do it again. Anyways, this is day 58 of our 2025 completion hike. We're coming down to the end of this hike, which is pretty freaking awesome. Yesterday was kind of a bad day, or not a great day. Hoping today is better. We are starting off a little cool and misty, but I see a lot of blue skies, so I'm hoping that we have great weather. So we stayed last night at Nature's Inn, which was a pretty cool place. I really liked it. Highly recommend. At some point I might do a video on hostels. I don't know. I'm not really the expert on hostels, but yeah, it's been some interesting experiences. Some mostly good. Anyways, Taft from Nature's Inn dropped me off at Sam's Gap, and I'm hiking south, which is good because I started hiking north from Sam's Gap and got about 100 yards and went, wait, that's the wrong way. So anyways, I'm hiking south. How far I go, I really don't know. I have a hope I can get. There's a place called Shelton Graves, but it's a pretty long distance and a lot of climb, and I don't know if I can make it. So if I can't, I'll stop at the shelter before that. I'm trying to put most of my miles today, which means that I think tomorrow I could actually end up down at the other shelter, which is not shelter but a hostel, which is down by the Southern Cookie Lady. So yeah, anyways, I don't know. We'll see how far I get. I have a full pack. It's heavy. I'm already kind of achy a little from yesterday. I fell a couple times and wrenched my back a little bit, and it's not bad, but no matter what, I'll endure it for another 3 days. But yeah. So anyways, I'm rambling. Point is, we'll see how far we can get. It's temps are really in the high 50s. It's a little cool. I don't have my mid layer on, which I probably should. But the problem is that the wind is blowing the water from the tree leaves, so I'm getting tree rain, and it's a pretty strong wind. So it's pretty cold. I'm trying to just tough it out because I'll probably be, if I put a mid layer on, I'll probably overheat a little. And if I don't put it on, I'll be a little chilled, but we'll see how long I can go. One thing I noticed I started doing today is, which I haven't done before, is pretty much counting down the miles. I mean, at the end of the day, I kind of calculated, I had 100 and some miles, I had 70 something miles, but I started the day with 45 miles. And as I hiked, I kind of took note mentally. Well, 43, 41, 40, 39. So, I mean, I guess what I'm saying is I'm getting kind of excited about finishing. It's pretty cool. So I don't know how long this is going to last, but I'll take it while I can. The day did start off very misty and cold, windy, but it never really rained, so there was that. I put on a raincoat only to cut the wind, and then ended up taking it off right after we got off the ridge where the wind was cut. And then little by little the sun came out. And so there's, big clouds in the sky, puffy clouds, but yeah, it's Man, if it could stay like this till I finish, that would be awesome. Now the weather report shows that that's not going to be the case, but you never know, especially out here in the mountains. So we'll see. I would love to have my last 3 days be sunny. So again, the debate, the internal debate in my brain was, how far could I go? I'm not that far from the shelter, which was my original plan. But then I wanted to keep going further to make tomorrow's hike less crazy. So I feel pretty good. We'll see if I can keep going. Well, it's real kind of interesting. You see just a small list of graveyards out here in the middle of nowhere. Obviously there was people here at some time, but Joe Riddle, born in 1871, died in 1967. Dude lived a long time. What is that, 94 years? Wow. And I don't know if there used to be a headstone there, but then there's one over here, Dorothy Hensley, 1865 to 1969? Holy crap, 104 years old. Almost missed this trail. That trail turned a little bit and can't see it because of all the leaves. All right, haven't seen one of these in a while. Looks rickety, but it's got a blaze on it. First meadow walk in a while. Heading down to that street. Alright, so we just left our water source. That was a bit of a gamble that was sort of unfortunate. There was a really good water source back at the shelter, 1.6 miles back. But then I would have had to carry the water, all the water, an extra 2 liters that distance. So supposedly this was a good stream, but it really wasn't. So I ended up having to improvise. First tried putting it under the smallest of trickles. It took like 10 minutes to fill that bottle. And I got kind of frustrated with that. And I used my trowel, cleaned it. Not that it ever gets poop on it, but had dirt. So, and used that to channel the water. And that worked out okay. So that wasn't bad. Now I got to go another 1.5 miles to our, what we think is our tent site at the Graves. Carrying 2.5 liters of water. That's heavy. Anyways, so we were originally thinking of stopping. My original plan was to stop at that shelter back there. But then when I started re-looking at plans and wondering if I could make it to the hostel near the cookie lady, it would have been a long haul. So going to the Graves tent site only takes off 3.1 miles off what would have been an over 17-mile day tomorrow. But more importantly, it takes off like 1,000 miles of climbing. But the negative, I'm doing that now. So this is a lot of climbing, It's at about 1,000 feet. At the end of the day, when I'm tired, carrying 2.5 liters of water. So, but it is what it is. We'll get it done. So the graves that we're going to be camping near, it's called the Shelton Graves. And it's got an interesting story from what I've read on my app, that it was a pair of Union soldiers. So a pair of Union soldiers who during the Civil War came back to visit family in an area that is part of the Confederacy, and they were killed on that spot, and that's where they were buried. So that's kind of interesting. We passed that one small cemetery with the 2 gravestones earlier. Kind of curious what the story is there. So we're down to the last mile for today, assuming we could stop at the Shelton Graves tent area. Apparently, should be. I think there was 2 people previously that are faster than me that were up there and thinking of stopping there. So I met John back at the shelter, and he was kind of doing the same thing as me. He was thinking about stopping at the shelter, but wanting to go on to the Shelton Grave site. But his thing was he didn't want to go on unless he knew somebody else was going to be camping there, because he felt that alone bears would look at him more like an appetizer or something. I don't know. So I told him I would go, so he's coming too. I just want to make sure hopefully there's enough stats available. But yeah, pretty proud of how far we've hiked in 2 days, and it's been pretty good. So yeah. And what's amazing is that we're down to, once I reach the Shelton gravesite in 1 mile, I have 30 miles left on my entire AT. 30 miles. That's nuts. I quit kind of like maybe thinking about the finish when we had an impending hurricane that could have come on to land, but as of last night, all the forecasters are saying that it's turning back out to the ocean towards east and away from the U.S. So, yeah, cool. And today has been a great day. It's been a great day for weather. Let's see what tomorrow and the day after and what the next day look like. So we have 3 more days, 30 miles in 3 days. The only big mile will be, not really big, but a little bit bigger, is tomorrow, to see if I can get to that hostel. That was kind of a last minute change because, it was going to be, I think, 4 straight days in the woods. But, man, I would love to get a shower, wash clothes, and recharge electronics tomorrow night. And then go into Hot Springs after having tent camp just 1 more night. Yeah, so that's the plan. And hopefully it all works. All right, we're here at the Shelton Graves. I'm not sure what to expect. I don't know. I guess I'm only going on the Far Out app. One hiker said there's a plethora of sites. So, yeah, we'll see. Guess we just follow this trail. Oh my God. It's a very short distance, but yeah. I guess why you can say there's a plethora of sites, because there is. Everywhere you look. This is great. Wow. You could tent almost anywhere. Apparently, yeah, I see good trees for hanging bear bags and a lot of good options for hammocks. This is sweet. All right, so this is the actual David Shelton and William Shelton. What's the relation of Millard F. Hare? Died in 1863. So I was during the Civil War.